Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Killer Collab Podcast. My name is Tone Deaf in Florida, Tony D. As always, as usual, as start from the beginning, Mr. Chris Lato from Reaper Film.
Howdy, howdy.
Yo. And bringing back one of our original guests, one of our first guests. This time it seems like in better internet, better everything, better lighting, better everything, sound. Mr. Sean Donohue, Gatorblade Films.
Yeah!
Yeah, there he is. Welcome back, sir.
How you doing?
Doing all right. Doing all right. Now, a lot has happened since we last talked. Tell us a little bit about, what you have. I think it's been probably 30 weeks. It's been a long time.
I mean, it seems like close to a year, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably last Tampa Bay Screams. I think that's when you came
Oh,
out to
yeah.
promote that.
Tampa Bay Scream. So Swap Shop. That was in August, right?
July, so yeah, about almost a year.
So, wow. That's been a long time.
Which, that's a good reason. Let me grab some, real quick. I gotta grab things I'm gonna promote. Yeah, while you bring it up. So, yeah, Tampa Bay Screams.
Tampa Bay Scream.
I can't see it really well, but June 11th and 12th this year, 12 to 5 at the Ramada in West Shore. Come check it out. You'll probably see me, Tony, Chris there. Yep. This year we got Flissa Rose from Sleepover Camp, Dave Sheridan from Scary Movies, Stephen Joffreys from the original Fright Nights, Frank Stevens from Slumber Party Massacre, Fred Owen Ray, director of Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, and Brian Wells from The Road Warrior.
Very nice. Looks like you're getting more and more every year. What do you want?
Yeah, this is. I mean, compared to some conventions, it's might be a little smaller, but for me, this is the biggest one. So,
Stephen Joffreys, he's the guy from Fraternity Vacation, right?
yes, he's also in that. He's a funny character in that movie too. I love that movie.
Cool. I might have to get you to get something signed for me.
I got a little pile for him that I'm gonna have him sign. Tony, you ever see that movie? I know maybe you're not into older sex comedies. Fraternity Vacation with Tim Robbins and Steve. No.
Oh, I love Tim Robbins, but no, I have not seen that.
It's one of his first roles. It's probably out of the sex comedy movies that came out in the late 70s to the early 90s. That's probably my favorite one.
I saw that at the theater.
I might have to.
I'm a little younger than Chris. I saw it on cable as a kid when I probably wasn't supposed to be watching it. And for some reason, it always stuck in my mind. And I had certain images in my head from it. And then I found it at a garage sale. I think this is the movie that I always think about, and it totally was. There's some really funny stuff in it. But it's got so that movie is the only other movie besides Friday Night that has Stephen Joffreys and Amanda Beers from Married with Children.
Oh yeah.
She's in that movie as well.
You never saw Fright Night?
No. Oh, I know. I saw Fright Night.
The original?
The original Fright Night. I saw the remake, too, with Colin Farrell.
The remake was...
Yeah, I didn't like the remake so much.
The remake wasn't bad.
There's nothing in my mind that actually stuck. I can't remember. I remember I seen it, but I can't think of any scenes. Maybe it
was really underwhelming.
Yeah, it was very forgettable. Very forgettable. Now, so we got the new Tampa Bay Screams coming up in June. So that's something to look forward to. Do you have any movies that you just did?
Yeah, so two things I want to talk about. One of them will be quick, and then we'll jump into, I think, what Chris wants to talk about. So these just came out. I just literally got them yesterday. It's the sushi double feature.
Oh, we got a double feature.
It's hot sushi and Don't Sweat the Dead. One is a workout video, and one is a cooking show. That we filmed. And I have a how-to board video I threw in there, how to make some basic board. So those just came out, and I'm going to be shipping those out soon. Sushi's going to sign them in a couple weeks, and those will go out, and then I'll sell leftovers from that didn't make it, that didn't get sold on Indiegogo. So it's kind of fun. It's a cheesy little movie we shot in a couple days, but I think people will get a kick out of it.
Yeah, it's always a fun time, especially with sushi involved.
And Sushi Naked.
Yeah, she's a hot ticket item. She, I can't at this point. I can't make a movie without her, and people will be upset.
Oh, so you're trying to be the new Rob Zombie with Moon? So you're trying to
yeah, I guess I didn't think of that. Yeah, but the difference is like I never get any complaints. No one's like, "Oh man, sushi again."
Right.
No one said that yet.
I mean, I complain about Moon every Rob Zombie movie. So
Yeah. I mean, the thing with her, I really like her in that role that she plays in House of Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects, and even the new one that I didn't like so much. But her playing that role is great. She's great at it, and she should keep doing that. But when he puts her in like other roles, I don't think she's as good.
That bullshit in Halloween 2 was like, what is this?
Yeah, she sucked in that. Her role in Lords of Salem, and I really didn't enjoy that movie 31. Like it felt like they just put her in there to put her in there.
Well, fun fact, I hate Rob Zombie movies. Pretty much all of them.
What a shocker.
I actually liked Halloween, the original, the Halloween 1. I like that one.
Yeah.
His remake?
Yeah, his remake. Halloween 1.
Yeah, that's all right.
I think that's the only one I liked. The second one flew off the like.
I don't think I think all of us could agree that might be a movie we all unanimously don't like.
Yeah, Halloween 2 might be one of the worst horror movies ever.
Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Yeah, Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Yeah.
Horrible.
That's one of those, like we were saying, like I've watched it several times and I don't know exactly what happened.
No, I saw it at the theater and
how do you fuck that up?
I saw it at the theater, hated it, and then like years later I saw it and I was like, you know what? Let me watch this again just to make sure I hated it, and yeah, it was confirmed that I hated that fucking movie.
I mean, that goes to show you there, like I'm the same way, like I'll watch a bad movie a couple of times and it's usually a horror movie. So I mean, there's a win-win there with bad movies. It's like someone might watch it again just to see if they didn't like it. Isn't that sad? That's kind of pathetic to think about it.
Yeah. But do you think he did it on purpose? He knew that, like, what are we doing? Like,
no, I don't think. I mean, dude, at that level with the amount of money he was spent, I don't think they would purposely, like, make something that, they were trying to make something good. It just didn't work.
I mean, I know he didn't want to make a sequel to it. I think I read that he did.
Yeah, they kind of made him.
That like he was like, damn it, okay, I'll make a sequel.
And a choice that he made that I didn't get was the classic Halloween music wasn't in part 2 at all. The whole music.
I didn't even notice that, but yeah, like you gotta have that, man.
Why would you abandon that? Like that's Halloween, the music, and
yeah, that's part of the movie, for sure. With that being said, I did like the newest installments. The first one not so much. It was okay, but the latest one, Halloween Kills, I really enjoyed that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tony probably hated it.
No, I actually did. I actually liked it. I like the new Halloweens. I like that. Like I want to see the next one coming out in October, but I want to see more explanation of his pretty much like because at the end of the movie of the last one, he was getting fucked up.
Yeah, well, it's like is he superhuman? Is he a ghost? Yeah. And I think I'm guessing that's what they're gonna try and touch on in the third one.
But I'm afraid I hate it.
And I talked with Leto about this. I think the third one, it's going to be hard to top the last one because I thought the last one was really good. It was everything that I wanted. It was just Michael Myers and Halloween, slashing people up. They didn't try to go some crazy direction and try something new. It was just like, just give us what we've had before and update it a little bit. Yeah. And that's what they did. And I thought that was, that was a great choice.
One thing I hope they explain is why do they always transfer that dude on Halloween?
So in the previous Halloween, the 2018 or 17 one, that was my biggest complaint. I'm like, okay, let's all decide to move Michael Myers from one mental institution to another on Halloween. Like, come on, man.
Randomly,
like that was
40 years later.
That's the one guy you don't like. In Halloween, you should be like, put him in a box or something and lock him up.
Steel cage and throw away the key.
And drop it at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
But like I said, I want to see the explanation, but I'm afraid that I'm not going to like the explanation. I just don't want another Thorn debacle.
You think they're going to say like why he is the way he is?
I don't know. And that might either be a good thing or a bad thing because I think it might be a bad thing because that'll just kill the mystery of Michael Myers. It's like, once you're like, oh, he's an alien from outer space, you're like, really? That's stupid. Like, no matter what you say, I think it's going to be stupid. Like, you almost need the mystery of why he can get shot 20 times and still get up. You know.
He's the boogeyman.
Yeah, but
Maybe, dude, maybe it's Hugh Jackman under there and it's Wolverine. I don't know.
But like I said, how do you stop something like that? Like, how do you like? But I don't know what the good lore would be. I don't know what they would.
Jason, man, you can't kill Jason.
Well, Jason's got a little more explanation. Like, if you follow the series, he's possessed by. He's not a zombie, but he's possessed by a demon. So he's got he's got Satan working for him. He's not completely human.
Jason goes to hell.
You know.
Oh, Jason goes to hell, the worst one.
Yeah, I like a lot of people don't like Jason Goes to Hell. I like Jason Goes to Hell.
I think Hollywood choose the worst horror movie ever made. Jason Goes to Hell, second worst horror movie ever.
I mean, I understand why people didn't like it because it's a lot of it isn't Jason. But for me, I thought that was a cool take on it. You know, it was one of the highest production movies that they had. It had one of the bigger budgets, and I like the actors. I like the kills. I saw it at the drive-in when I was a kid, and I liked it then. I still like it now. It's not my favorite one in the series, but I like it, more than some of the other sequels.
I think if it wasn't a Jason movie, I would have liked it. If it didn't have any Jason in it, I would have liked it.
It didn't have Jason in it.
No, I mean, but if it wasn't under the right. Jason name, Jason Goes to Hell, Friday the 13th. If it was not that at all, if it was just from hell, not from hell because that's already a movie.
Yeah, just some guy getting possessed and going from body to body. Like there's actually a movie called The Hidden that did something similar to that, except it's an alien that gets puked out and he goes into other people and he makes them possessed and shit.
Well, like
check it out.
like that. Yeah, Shocker's like that too. Like
Shocker. Yeah.
So basically, something like that, but a little bit more. I don't know, but like I said, if it wasn't a Friday the 13th, I probably would have liked it because it's a separate entity and But as a Friday the 13th, we want to see Jason just rip someone's head off. We just want to see Jason do all this gore and stuff not like, oh, is he Jason? He's talking? Is he Jason?
Yeah. No, like I said, I totally get it. But my least favorite in the series is Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah.
It's got a cool cover, though. The cover's cool. Yeah. It's cool enough that I ripped it off for Discord service. And we kind of ripped it off for Chris Leto's, and this will be a good lead-in, for Chris Leto's new movie, Cheerleader, Sleepover, Slaughter. Somewhat of a Jason Takes Manhattan ripoff.
Jason Takes the Football Field.
Yeah. I have to see that, too. I haven't had a chance.
Yeah, they dropped the ball on that one. If Jason was, in Manhattan,
dude, that would have been the greatest thing ever. Dude, imagine if he's on 42nd Street, he's going into movie theaters and stabbing people through the popcorn, like he's on the movie screen, and then he jumps out. There's so many things you could have done with that.
They could
They probably just didn't have the budget.
They didn't have the budget.
He's on the top of the Empire State Building like King Kong with a chick in his hand. He's got a knife. I mean, if I was directing that, I would have done all kinds of batshit crazy stuff. But they decided, hey, let's just have him on a boat.
Well, they shot it in Vancouver. Like all downtown scenes were done in.
Right. They shot, from what I understand, I think in the special features, I think they were in Manhattan for 3 days, and because there are a few shots that are in New York.
Yeah.
But I understand that they didn't have a big budget, but I really think if they had worked on it a little harder and that could have been cheated out, man. Like you don't need a whole lot. You can just you shoot in a studio and you cheat out the big shots with your studio. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish it would have been different.
And every night in Manhattan, the sewers get doused in toxic waste. Who the hell comes up with that?
So you can thank the Toxic Avenger for that one.
Oh my god! I was like, what the hell kind of ending is that?
That would have been badass. Like if you walked into a movie theater and they were showing a Friday the 13th movie on the screen. And then
they're showing one of the Friday 13th movies, and then he just pops out of the screen. That's epic, man.
Or he's standing in the aisle, and everybody starts looking over at
him. Keep it subtle. He doesn't even kill anybody, but they just see him and what the hell's going on? And then he leaves. He grabs some candy or something. I don't know.
He's like, I'm on TV.
I mean, they should have done that. That would have been so cool.
Yeah. Now, do you think he would have recognized himself? Because he remember
it would have been fun. It would have been funny though. It would have been. In a movie like that, you can do something like that. I think it would have been worthy of doing that.
It would have been so meta.
Yeah, if he's standing there looking at the screen, turning his head.
Yeah.
And then the audience is looking at him holy shit.
It's holy shit, I did that. That was me. I did that.
Yeah, he's kind of little, brains a little slow anyway. So just like, ooh, he's got the mind of like a 3-year-old.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, he died like, what, 1955 technically when he drowned? I think it was 55.
Yeah, he got drowned, so he probably lost some brain cells. But I mean, he still knows how to kill.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, here's one thing they never talk about. Where does Jason live? And like, just like on a regular, like, you don't just kill people every day. Like, you have to have boring days where you're just like eating meals and doing laundry.
Right.
Where does Jason do this?
Does he look like he does laundry? Have you
I
seen
don't
his
think he does
clothes?
What does he?
All right. Well, I mean, he at least eat. Like, what is his diet? Where does he live?
Well, even Michael Myers ate dog and like squirrels and stuff. Like you never know. Like,
Yeah, does Jason have to eat?
I mean, he's probably a
Does he
hunter.
cook? Does he know how to cook?
Oh no, he's got a knife. He doesn't know how to make a fire. I don't know.
In the new one, he learned how to use a bow and arrow. Or he actually in the third one he used that he used the
Crossbow.
the crossbow.
Oh, the harpoon.
Harpoon.
Oh, that's what I
Harpoon gun. Yeah, so he learned how to use that. So I'm assuming that he fishes, but
Hey, Michael Myers learned how to drive.
yeah, Michael Myers, and he's never had a
Never
lesson.
had a ticket.
Yeah,
Never got a speeding ticket.
Nothing. Very conspicuous vehicle.
Yeah, these things all need to be explained.
Yeah,
I mean, he's an astronaut. He's been space. You know.
but that's not until like 30 something. Like, what year was that?
Oh, I don't remember, but yeah, they're way in the future when they do that one. Yeah, that's eventually. I think any horror series, if you're a successful series, eventually you go to space. You know?
Yeah, but then how do you explain Leprechaun? Was that really a successful series?
I remember hearing like all those movies made money. In fact, the one that they did in the Hood, there's two. There's a sequel to there's Leprechaun in the Hood 2. They said that one did the best.
Really?
Really? I didn't see that.
Yeah, that one made the most money out of all.
Huh.
Leprechaun.
I don't know if I saw Leprechaun in the Hood 2.
I don't think I did either.
I saw the first one.
Yeah,
I don't
Aaron,
think I've seen any of
because I know there is.
Leprechaun. I don't think I've seen any of
One
those.
second.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
'Cause that's not that I knew.
Boom.
Oh, wow.
So Sean owns Leprechaun in the Hood 2. Anybody in that we know?
I don't know.
Wow.
Jennifer Aniston was in the first one.
You guys broke up. Say that
I
again.
said Jennifer Aniston was in the first one.
Yes,
That was, like,
absolutely.
The first movie.
Yeah.
So there's no like people in that movie that.
I think Ice-T's in it.
Oh, is he?
Tangy Miller, Sticky Fingers, isn't he? What rapper was he in?
He played Blade in one of the series too. They had some weird low budget series of Blade and he played it.
Oh.
Sheik, Mahmoud Bey from Buffalo Soldiers, Flawless, and Nightfall. No big names, really.
Yeah.
You know.
Sticky
I don't know.
Sticky
Couple
Fingers
rappers.
was in Sunset Park. He actually acted in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Sticky Fingers. Better than his rap career.
Yeah, rap now sucks, man. I can't what the kids are listening today. I don't even know. Like, I like rap from like
80s.
late '80s to kind of the mid '90s, and then anything after that, I just can't. It's not for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the early 2000s, like 2002.
I'd push it to that, but anything after like Dr. Dre's 2001 Chronic, it just it doesn't hit well with me.
No, I can agree with that. Yeah, they don't have storytellers anymore. They don't have any descriptors. They don't have any like.
Yeah, like it's just like
There's no
it's just
lyricism.
some dude talking about his car or his girlfriend. Like, but there's no substance to it. Like, there's not even a plot. It's just like it's like two words over and over again. You know,
there's no full sentences, no full thoughts.
Well, the thing now is like it's like.
oh yeah, mumble rap. That's another. Like, you heard of the Island Boys? You guys ever heard of them?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to just shoot those guys.
I just want to bang their heads together.
Yeah, like they're like two little white kids from Beverly Hills that decided to get face tattoos and do mumble raps, and they've been successful at it. Like, who decided that those people should be anybody? Like, they're idiots.
They look like they're from Pasco County.
They look like Pasco County meth heads.
Pasco County in the hose.
Or Polk County. Polk County.
I mean, Chris is rocking a Wu-Tang shirt, you know? Those guys are cool.
Yep.
There you go.
They're coming back. They're coming back to show. They're coming back to Tampa.
You gotta see that series, man.
I know. I need to get on that.
Oh, okay.
I think I have it now, too. I think it's on other platforms. I just haven't watched it
It was
yet.
on Hulu.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I haven't had time.
So good.
Didn't the Beastie Boys have one too? I don't think I saw that either.
They had just like a show. It was like a 3-hour. It was pretty much Mike D and Ad Rock standing on stage talking about stuff, and they had like showed stuff, and it was good. It was basically the story of them, how they started and everything.
Well, didn't at the beginning of the show, Tony, didn't you say you wanted to talk about the new X movie?
Yes, I did.
By West. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about X. Now, I want to hear what Chris liked about it first. I really just want to, Chris, what did you like about that movie?
Sex, gore, and weirdness. Like, what else do you want in a horror movie?
The simple-minded person.
Horror movies.
Horror movies so mean, bro.
Horror movies should be simple.
I don't
think of all the classic horror movies. Jason, guy with a machete killing people.
Yeah.
Halloween, guy in a mask killing people.
Yeah.
Freddy Krueger, guy killing people in their dreams.
Yeah.
It's simple.
I gotta agree with Leto on that. You know, some of the more successful movies
People go to a house
are just
guy
pretty
with a
basic.
chainsaw kills them.
You know,
I'm gonna throw
Basic.
Scream in there. I'm gonna throw Scream.
that's a base. I mean, I'm not a big Scream fan, but that's a basic.
It's not, I don't
You
think
know,
it's basic.
plot.
I don't think it's basic either. It's
Scream is not
kinda
a basic
who
horror.
done it,
Yeah,
and
I
you
like
actually
that.
have no.
I mean, it's. I mean, you got the two killers, and it's a whodunit. I mean, but the
I think there's
the
something.
plot line is basically there's two killers killing off their friends. I mean, to me, that's kind of basic.
But they have
You
a
know?
purpose. There's a purpose to it. Like they have a goal. They have a reason. They have like there's a motive. I like stuff like that. Like I like the regular horror. I like the Jasons, the Michael Myers, the Freddys. I like those. But I also like to be thought provoking. I like.
Challenge. Like, did you like Beyond the Black Rainbow?
Wow, I've never even heard of that.
So why
It's really complicated and hard to understand. You'd probably love it.
so Tony, why didn't you like X?
It was just there was nothing to it. It was literally like nothing happened. Like nothing happened in the whole movie. It was predictable, and like it was just like, okay, we see this person's gonna die, and then it moves to the next person. Oh, that person's gonna die next, and it was just like okay, we're gonna cut to the person in the bed. She's gonna die. Like there's no story. Okay, they're making a porn, and then one person gets pulled away. Oh, she's dead. Like it was just there was nothing.
Like every horror movie ever made.
But like I said, it was predictable. It was like there was one suspenseful part where you thought that she was getting attacked by an alligator, and then it was just a foreshadow because she actually does.
Well, the other girl got killed.
Well,
That was the only 10 seconds of the movie that I enjoyed.
yes,
Was the alligator scene.
but
Everything else, I found myself drifting away. I was bored, and I was just waiting for something,
something to happen.
and I never got anything.
Yes, that's how
I'm
it
like, and then the ending happened, and they do the whole backstory on, oh yeah, she was, her dad was a pastor, and he was fucked up, and I'm just like, okay.
yeah.
Well, they made a prequel that's supposed to be coming out soon, actually.
I mean, here's the problem that I have. I'm probably gonna watch it because I'm curious, even though I didn't like that movie. I watch a lot of movies I don't like just as I'm curious,
Yeah.
and I'll probably pay to see it. So good for them for being able to lure me in. But kind of similar to Tony, I mean, I didn't like the movie for all the reasons that he stated. Plus, for me, it felt like a Toby Hooper ripoff of Eaten Alive and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre combined into one lesser movie. That's how I felt about it.
I love Jenna Ortega, but I think this was a miss. Like she was wasted in this movie. I mean, you kind of thought that she was going to be the final girl, but because she was kept separated from everybody.
Yeah, I had trouble who's the final girl? Like no one was really in charge, So it kind of I didn't feel as attached to the characters.
Yeah, there was no story.
I didn't like how they did that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I didn't care who died, because there was no substance to any of them. Like we found out the black guy was in the Marines. Okay, that's his shtick, and then
That shot they had of him where he's got a huge dong, I did laugh at that. That was kind of funny. I laughed at that movie more than anything. Like when the creepy old lady gets in the bed with the chick, I started crapping up. And what I realized was I was the only one that was laughing in the theater. So I'm like, is there something wrong with me? Like, this is really funny to me, but
I was
maybe,
like
I don't know.
Squirming. I was like, what
Really?
the fuck is
That was so hilarious. Like, it was not scary at all to me. I thought it was a freaking laugh
I thought it
riot.
was scary. I thought it was like uncomfortable. And then the old people hitting it.
I mean, to me, oddly, like that would be funny to me in real life if that really happened. And then you get up and there's this creepy old lady next to you. I mean, that's funny to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I just and Chris just mentioned the old people having sex in the bed. That's gonna be you in 5 years, man. What do you? That's gonna be you.
In 5 years.
5 years. Thanks, Tony.
Okay, 7, whatever.
You think of me as
7 years.
But like I said, the story. Like I wanted Jenna Ortega to be the final girl. Like she's supposed to be the one that's gonna get mangled up and end up fighting. But like they're old people. Like they're not gonna overpower you. The guy shot her with a shotgun.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like I'm not. The other problem I had with it is old people don't scare me. Like I'll just push them off their rocker. Like old people don't scare me. Little people don't scare me. Like it's something for me it has to actually scare me. I understand everyone's got different fears, but I'm not afraid of old people.
Yeah. I mean, for the old lady, it was just an element of surprise. You didn't know what she was going. She had a knife behind her back, like, and then she just went pop, pop, and that was it. Like, because you think she's so fragile and vulnerable, but at the same time, like, if she's like 10 feet away, she's no threat. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like she's 10 feet away. So like
you can run away from her pretty easily.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And then the old guy had the shotgun. Like I don't.
I mean, it seemed like a lot. Like I'm in a lot of horror groups on Facebook and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It seemed like the mass majority really liked that movie, and not only did they like it, like they really liked it. Like everyone, like I was like 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, and then I pop in there like I didn't like it at all, and people like wanted to crucify me.
Yeah.
I'm like I just didn't like it. And I saw the same exact effect when that movie Terrifier came out. That one I probably liked a little more than X, but I thought it was just okay. But everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing! Like, this is the best horror movie ever." I'm like, it was all right. And then people were like, "This is the goriest movie ever made." I'm like, I've done gorier stuff than that. I've seen gorier stuff than that. Like, there's way more explicit stuff than that. Like, if you're a 10-year-old girl, sure, but I think the problem that I have, and that some people might have, is I'm so desensitized to this types of stuff. Like, for me, things really have to be graphic and over the top for me to like notice.
Yeah. But with X, I just didn't feel like any like I love horror movies, but I didn't feel scared at any point. It was more like
scary.
Like I don't know how to like say it. It was just like each scene. It was just like, okay, where's the old lady? Like it's not. It wasn't like, oh my god, it's so much tension. Because like I said, 10 feet away, she's just looking at you. Like not even like I don't know. Like there's no fear in that.
Did you see The House of the Devil?
No.
I like that movie. I mean, it's same director, Ty West. That movie, for me, like there were suspenseful moments. There were moments where I was kind of like, I wasn't like super scared, but way more suspenseful in my mind than his new one, and I really like that movie. But the new one just, I don't know, didn't do it for me, man.
So, what do you think would have had to be done to make it a good movie? Like, what do you think they could have done in that movie to make it a good movie? Like, I've been thinking about this for a little while.
I mean, I think for me, like the old people weren't scary. Like I need a more sinister villain. Yeah. Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The whole family was scary. You had Leatherface, and he was crazy. Yeah. This is too over the hill, barely functioning geriatrics. Yeah. That's not scary to me.
Yeah. And like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you had to like be on alert at every point in time. And this is just like I can see them walking very slowly from the house.
Yeah, I'll go behind him and push him over. Done. Get in our car. Let's go, guys. Grab his shotgun. The old lady can't get up. She's pressing her little "I've fallen, I can't get up" thing, and that's it. We're out of here.
Well, remember the scene where she was underneath the bed and she was crawling out? She literally just had to take the shotgun and shoot him. Like, movie over.
I don't know.
Movie over. Like, she's running out of the house. The shotgun's like right there, right, like 2 feet away. Like, grab it. Like, she almost hit it when she was walking out, trying to crawl out of the room. Like, grab the shotgun, pop, pop, done. Or one takes out both.
Well, I mean, Chris, you really liked it. I mean, I guess the old people. That was, I guess, good. I mean, in your mind,
Like,
is there anything about that movie you didn't like?
that I didn't like? No.
It was a perfect movie for you.
I called it a masterpiece when I posted it.
A masterpiece. All right. Well, hey, look, everyone's different.
That's the thing.
I don't like it at all.
The masses.
But that's me.
Nobody makes movies to appeal to the masses because you can't.
It's true.
Yeah. With that being said, I don't think there's any one movie that unanimously everyone likes. It's just not possible. So.
No, that's true. Like, you can't make a movie that's gonna appeal to the masses.
You can't. You get your fan base and you make movies for your fan base.
Yeah. Huh.
So speaking of making movies for your fan base, Chris, why don't you talk about your new movie?
Yeah, so we got the Cheerleader Sleepover Slaughter. I know we've talked about it on here a few times. We got the Indiegogo campaign going right now. You can get a Blu-ray copy, a DVD copy, a digital download. You can get screen use props like cheerleader uniforms, the Killer's outfit. What else is on there?
Got special thanks credit, associate and executive producer credits. You can get Voodoo Vodka stickers that we've used in a couple of our movies.
Right.
And I think that's it for now.
Yeah.
But
we just
some fun stuff. You can watch the trailer on YouTube. I think Chris posted another little 10-second teaser video, and I think he's got plans to do more of those. And Chris and I talked about this morning. If we reach our first stretch goal, we're going to add, in special features, add his second film, The Housewife Slasher, to the Blu-ray. So 2 movies in 1.
All right, 2 for 1.
2 slasher movies. Woohoo!
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Again, our movies that we've made over the years are fairly simple, pretty basic, and we've tried a couple other things, try to do something different a few times, and those don't do as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these cheesy little slasher movies are what works for us. So got to go with what works.
What do you think is one of the most off-brand movies that you made?
I think Heartbreak Killer for me is probably the most different one I made. I really liked it. I'm proud of it, and it seemed like the few people that did watch it really liked it. But a lot of my hardcore fans didn't buy it. And some people complained that hey, no one gets killed. And, I would have liked to see that, but that wasn't the movie I was trying to make. I was like, that's not what I wanted to make. So I think it's really different. I don't know too many movies that are like that. No. And I think it probably had my best writing and directing up to this point, but no one gave a shit.
I think as far as plot and stuff, that's definitely your best movie, I think.
Yeah, and one thing that happened in that movie that I wasn't going for, and Leto pointed out, he's like, the movie's really funny. And a couple people were like, man, this movie's funny. I'm like, the movie's it's not a comedy. It wasn't supposed to be a comedy, but it turned into one.
Is it more like the dark humor?
Yeah, it's a dark comedy, but that's not what I was going for at all. But I guess just the way it got edited and ate the chosen one's performance, it's just hilarious. His character, I found people were just laughing at the things he was going through. I'm like, this isn't supposed to be funny. Because some of the stuff that's in that movie are elements from my real life, and I'm like when I was going through those things, it wasn't funny. People thought it was funny, but at the end of the day, people like to see people down in their luck.
Yeah.
People like to see people in the gutter. People like to see people getting beat up. That's just human nature, And I guess that's what that movie had, and people thought it was hilarious.
Well, it's perception.
When we talk about that movie, the only scene that pops in my head is when 8 is in bed masturbating and he's crying. He's crying as he's masturbating.
Yeah, he's reading this
it's such
an odd. He's not reading a Playboy or anything. He's reading this novel about
art or something, and he's like got the sheet pulled over him, and he's like whacking off, and he's crying at the same time. It was supposed to be, I was trying to make it really dramatic, and I guess it's funny.
Dude,
whenever I see that, based on true life scenes right there.
Oh, that one's not. That one's not based on true life. I think Abe came up with that. Like that was his idea. And I was like, all right, let's throw it in. That was like a throw-in kind of thing on a whim.
Whenever I see that, I laugh like so hard. It's so funny.
But you know what? That's the only movie too. Like I should have noticed. You know, like Chris, like when I work on movies with him, he's usually pretty straight-faced. You know, doesn't laugh a whole lot. Like I found him laughing a lot while we were shooting. Like even like a couple shots, he screwed up because he started laughing. I'm like, what is so funny? He's like, Abe is just funny. Like the way he's moving his face and just, I don't know. I thought it was funny.
Hilarious.
But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, though, I mean, it made its money back. I think, it made a little bit of money, but it's probably one of my least selling movies and least popular. You know, if I only had that and that was the only thing I made, I think I definitely wouldn't have as many fans.
Now, did you try selling that in the same like spectrum as you are selling your other movies, or did you try to get that one to another like audience?
No, I mean, it got, I have distribution with most of my movies. You know, it's on online, Amazon, Best Buy, everything.com. I filtered it through the same, situation that I do with, all my bigger stuff, and it just didn't. I think I made 100 Blu-rays, and I'm still sitting on maybe like 30 or 40, and this is 3 years ago. Naked Cannibal Campers, for instance, that movie came out in 2020. I've sold almost 1,000 of those, So, again, man, I mean, it's as stupid as it sounds. Title, cover art, trailer,
matter.
That's all you really need. You got those three. You get those three things right, you're gonna do okay.
Yeah.
The movie doesn't even really have to be good.
The movie doesn't even have to be that great. I mean, eventually, once word gets around, and it's like, that, because, I've seen those, like, but right off the bat there, if you have a kick-ass trailer, kick-ass cover art, and the title sounds cool, people are going to buy it based on that. And I'm a guy who's, oh, wow, this looks cool, sounds cool, got some cool cover art, I'll buy that, Yeah. It's the oldest trick in the book.
It's true. It's true. Sex sells. Sex sells.
Well, not even just that. Just, gore sells. For this like horror genre.
The word naked.
Look at all the Friday the 13th cover arts. They're all pretty cool, man. I don't think we have as much as an advantage as we did when the video stores were still around, because that's all you really had. There was no internet. You couldn't like Google about the movie, watch a trailer. You literally looked at the box. You turned it over, you looked at that, you read the little synopsis, and you rented the movie based solely on that. Now it's like, I can go on YouTube, I can watch the trailer, I can watch blogs about it, I can read this, read that. By the time you do all that, you may not even want to watch the movie anymore.
Well, thankfully, a lot of our audience is old enough to remember video stores, because our audience generally is from 28 and up. So, thankfully they remember it, but anyone else, like, under 25, they don't know what a video store is.
Yeah, no, that's kind of weird. I've had this conversation with some other people about that. Like the next generation that's growing up without that, I don't think they're going to appreciate movies the way that we do. It's just we're just from a different time. That I wish video stores still exist. If they were still around, I would still go, even with all the streaming services I have, with all the DVDs and Blu-rays I have. I would still go in the video store and I'd still rent stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had like a Friday night feel to it. Like it was an occasion to go to the.
It was Sunday, exactly. It was, you got together with your friends or your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. It was a thing to do, man. Now it's not a thing anymore.
Well, even growing up, like you go with your parents, like, oh, we're gonna go to the video store. You get to pick out one movie. Yay! Like
yeah, exactly. It was a treat,
like,
man.
Trying to figure out what movie to take.
And now, what do people say? Hey, it's Friday night. Let's go on Netflix and pick something out. It's not as exciting to me. I don't think.
Scroll for an hour to find anything worthwhile.
Yeah, it's just not. Like I said, there's no like an occasion for it anymore.
Well, too. I mean, when you went to the video store, you drove out there, you searched around for 20 minutes or so. You read all these boxes, and you found something you liked. You were invested in that with time and money. So when you got home, and I'm sure you've all been through this. Like I've rented a million bad movies, but I watched the whole thing, or at least skimmed her, because I'm like, I put time into this. I'm not going to just Netflix. If a movie's not good in the first 5 minutes, okay, I'll go to the next thing.
Too easy.
Well, because in the video store, we'll pick up the box, look at the cover. Okay, it looks interesting. Turn it around, read it. Like, there's a lot of things going on there. Like, you're reading the whole synopsis on the back. Like, then you hold it for like an hour, and then see if you can find something else, and then you go and you compare it to the other one, and you read that one.
Well, maybe I'll just get both.
Yeah, exactly. But
have you ever worked in a video store, Tony?
No, my aunt used to own one, but I've never worked in one. I wasn't old enough to work in video stores when they were big.
Okay.
I think they went out when I was like 15, 16 as well.
All right. So
I was like,
you're right at the end there.
Yeah. So
but I mean, you're old enough. I'm glad you can at least remember them and you went to them and that kind of thing.
Yeah, because I remember like we had I think it was West Coast Video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it was like Bizarro Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Hollywood Video.
then we had
Hollywood Video.
Yeah.
Chris you worked in a Blockbuster, right, Chris? He was the manager. Yeah. I worked in a mom and pop video store.
Yeah.
So I think literally, and I think Chris will say the same thing. Like most of those video stores didn't pay a lot. It was like minimum wage or a little bit above that. I mainly worked there to watch free movies.
Yeah, that's totally. And
like the money was just like I remember when I got the job, like I didn't even care. Like this is the only time in my life I didn't care about the money. I'm like, man, I'm gonna get to watch all the movies I want for free, and I'm getting $7 an hour. Cool.
They're paying to watch movies.
Yeah. Because you got to give the recommendations, because people would used to come up to people.
Oh yeah, like it was encouraged to watch movies, so you could tell people about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when people would come in asking for a recommendation, what were the ones you would recommend, Sean?
Oh, so I was kind of a dick when I worked at the video store. What a shock. Well, here's the thing. I started off nice, but people would ask, I'm sure you've seen Randall and Clerks. Like I was him, because people would ask me the stupidest questions. Hey, what's a good movie? Like, I hated that question, what's a good movie? Because, A, I don't have the same taste as you. Yeah. It's so vague. Anything I say, and I would, at the beginning I would kind of tell them what I thought was good, kind of based on, what they might have rented in the past or whatever. But then I just eventually got to the point, when someone asked me that, I would just say Showgirls. And a couple people, I don't know if they got my sarcasm, a couple people rented that. Based on what I said, and I didn't say anything. I was just checking them out. And I'm like, And a couple of people got upset with me for renting that. I'm like, well, I'm like, I guess we don't. And I mainly did that to deter them from asking me that question. Right. I was like, don't ask me that.
Do you know how many
or I hated this. I hated the people that only wanted to watch. They're like, hey, what's new? We had our new releases. And they were always in the same place. And they only want to watch what was new. I'm like, just because the movie's older doesn't mean it's bad. Yeah. So that kind of always bugged me. And I would get customer complaints, and the owners would get mad at me because they would be like, look, Sean, everything in this store is good. And I'm like, I can't recommend. I'm not going to do that. I remember having an argument with my boss about that. I'm not going to tell someone, make up some bullshit about some movie that I know is not good. And they were just, I understand, they were trying to get sales, but I'm like, I'm just not going to do that, man. Yeah. So I never got fired. I think eventually the store I worked at switched hands, and then I just kind of moved on. But I think I worked at the video store 2000 to 2004 was my time.
You were 4 years.
Yeah. When did you work, Chris? Do you remember?
A year.
Yeah.
Only a year?
Yeah, it was 2000 to 2001.
Okay, so we were both at video stores at the same time.
Yeah. So the three movies I would always recommend was Donnie Darko, Scotland, PA, and Session 9. Those were the three movies I would always recommend.
I like 2 out of 3 of those. I really like Donnie Darko. It's kind of different. I think you told me about Scotland, PA, and that was when I first met you, and I started to realize we don't have the same taste in movies. But that one didn't really hit well with me. Session 9, I just always avoided, and you would bring it up in conversations, check it out. And I watched it about a year ago, and I really liked it. But I think why I stayed away from it, the cover art is like nothing like what the movie is, and it just kind of like threw me off. I'm like, this is a pretty good movie, but the cover art doesn't really depict what the movie is.
Right.
So
Yes,
I don't know.
Scotland, PA, and Session 9 is what you recommend.
Yeah, we did that on our top 10.
I think it was on our first top 10 movies you never
It
heard
might
of.
have been, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember liking them.
No.
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it was different. It was it had a couple of star actors in early in their career too, and it was just like I said, it was something different. I liked it.
For what? Session 9?
Yeah.
Yeah, David Caruso.
Yeah.
When he was big in the what show was he on?
I don't know.
That started his career. It was like the big show. What was it?
I do not recall.
It was
But-
like a cop show.
That narrows it down. Thank you.
In the heat of the night,
Let me find it.
homicide, LA Law, cops, Hill Street Blues,
You watch a lot of TV. I couldn't even.
Night Court.
I think they're remaking that. I think I heard.
I heard they're bringing back Night Court. I was pretty young. I mean, you probably weren't even.
No,
Do you know about Night Court?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, you probably, it's all reviews. Yeah, my grandma was really into that show, so I guess when I would hang out with her, we'd watch it. And I mean, I was a kid, so I didn't get most of it, but I totally remember it. And I guess I liked it.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
Right.
the premise, is there really Night Court? Like, is there really?
I think it's like, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe there was, but yeah, it's basically, you got these nighttime judges and bailiffs, and dealing with, the problems that would occur at night. So you got a lot of prostitutes, a lot of drug dealers, but they made it funny. It was comical, and I don't know if there's a Night Court. Yeah, that's a good question.
It was NYPD Blue.
Oh, David Caruso. Yeah. Be David Caruso in Jade.
There you go.
You ever see Jade?
Yeah. Linda Fiorentino.
Yeah.
I don't know.
These are one.
A lot of that early TV, I didn't like growing up. I didn't have cable, so honestly, I had a black and white TV probably until I was like 12.
I was
Like,
spoiled, dude.
Wow, that's funny.
We were like the first ones on the block to get cable. We were the first ones to have the VCR.
I was poor.
Like,
I grew up
Yeah.
poor
Not
in
us, not me.
a nice neighborhood. I was the poor kid. I was the one that used to get a lot of donations. Like my black and white TV had rabbit ears. Like it was,
Right.
and I had tinfoil on that shit. That was in my bedroom, and the only channels I can get was the Weather Channel, 3, and maybe I think it was 6.
and a
something.
Spanish channel.
Well, I mean, but I grew up pretty poor in a nice neighborhood, but I was poor. So I didn't have cable. I didn't have any of that. Like I didn't get a cell phone until my sophomore year of college. Like
Yeah, I didn't have a cell phone until everyone else had them. Yeah, I think college. Yeah, in college, I still had a house. My first apartment, I still had a house phone, and everyone was getting cell phones.
Yeah.
I was a slow on that too.
Yeah. I mean, we had a computer, but it wasn't like anything to write home about. Like it was. No. I remember my first computer. It was the big computer box, and you clipped off the front of it, and then the keyboard came out, and it was a little tube.
Oh yeah, I remember that kind of style.
I had one of those.
My first one was an Atari 400.
Okay,
It had like a keyboard. And
what was your first gaming system?
And my
Tony, what was your first video game system?
NES.
Atari.
NES.
Atari 26.
Regular Nintendo?
Yeah.
What
Regular.
about you, Chris? Atari.
Atari 2600.
I had ColecoVision.
Yeah.
Remember
I had
that?
a television. Remember television?
No.
It was kind of like Atari, but different. It wasn't as popular, but I don't know. It was cool.
It was weird because my Atari 400, I got this thing, right? And it's a computer. But, it's like an 80s computer. And I didn't know what to do with it. Like, I was just like, what the fuck do you do with this thing? And my friend down the street was like a genius. Like, he worked, he works for NASA now and shit. And he was like the brainiac of all our friends. And he could make like games and shit he made a baseball game that we could play on the freaking Atari computer. Like he knew how to code and all this stuff, and we were just like, what the fuck? Like, how do you do this stuff? It's so crazy.
He said he works for NASA now, so.
Yeah. So yeah, he was like really smart.
I had a friend that remember floppy disks, like the 5-inch discs? His name was Derek, and he lived down the street from me. And I remember going to his house, and he had a computer, and he must have had 50 of these things. And he had pinball, he had baseball, we would play all of them. Mm-hmm. And that was the only time I ever saw anything like. I mean, I know they existed, but that was the only friend or person I knew that had games on floppy disks on the computer. Like I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah.
I mean,
floppy disk.
Yeah, I look at these kids now and like, you don't know the struggle,
dude.
You don't know
Yeah, remember? Okay, you had any answer to the.
Yeah,
you got to fool with the reset, but all right, don't touch it, it's working. They don't deal with that. It's like now it's like it's streaming online or whatever. I mean, Game Boy was in black and white, like black and white video games. They don't know about that.
Like the Atari 2600, like when you put the cartridge in, sometimes it wouldn't work, and you had to like blow in it.
That's what we just were imitating. Yeah.
You blow in it, stick it back in.
But I was reading later the fact like blowing it didn't really do anything.
It didn't do nothing.
It did nothing.
It felt like it worked though, because it worked.
It did, but I read it was like it does nothing. Like
it gets the dust off. I don't know.
It's funny because when we were kids, they had cable boxes, but they had like dials on them. And my friend down the street, they would get a milk carton and cut a little piece out of the milk carton and bend it, and there was like a little hole in the top of like where the seam was, where the front part met the box, and there was a little crease, and you could stick the thing in there and kind of mess with it a little bit, and you would get all the channels, like all the.
Yeah, I kind of remember hearing about that.
Cinemax and.
I was aluminum foil on the. Back end, like kind of, paper clips, middle of the night, my parents are asleep and I want to watch, the dirty channels. And kids aren't watching scrambled porn anymore. Like that was the struggle as a teenage boy that I had to go through, scrambled porn was it. Like you had to deal with it. It's like, oh, I think there's a boob right there.
Yeah. Like they have no idea. Like I kind of like am worried if I ever have kids. And I'm like, I don't want to give you all this because you won't learn to appreciate it.
Porn is accessible all the time, right here on your phone.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna get my kid a
flip phone
with
magazines. They don't need magazines.
And it's like, would you rather have grown up now or grown up back then?
I really think back then because I just appreciate what we have now more, not having what we had then. VHS. VHS was never a good format, but it's what we had.
Yeah.
It's like, these are how you're going to watch these movies. And even back then, I'd even think it was that great, because it was lesser quality than when you got in the movie theater. Right. Now, you watch stuff at home on your 4K TV that, it's like you don't even need to leave the house anymore. Like, I enjoy going to the movie theater or going to the video store. Now you don't have to do that.
Nowadays, everyone just got lazier and lazier because everything is brought to them now. Like even food, food is
Uber. Yeah, it's like you used to have to go out and get your fast food. Now, again, I could literally sit on my chair for months until my bank account was completely drained. Have food delivered to the house. I don't have to leave.
Yeah. Well, people now are they make money online now too. With
like
that's another thing. Especially after COVID. Me, I'm that guy. I do a lot of eBay. I sell a lot of my movies online. It's part of my income. Like I do a lot of just things online. I'm going to. I was thinking about this yesterday actually. So I'm back in school, finishing out my bachelor's, and I went to college in the early 2000s. Like I went to college. I went to classes. I drove there. I talked to the professor. The past 2 years, I've done everything online. It's all online tests, online lectures, and it's cool. But some people are only going to go to college like that, and that's all they'll experience. Like it's kind of weird.
I think it's sad at the same time.
You lose the college experience, man. Like meeting people and parties and.
It's just like you don't. It's going to make people fatter and lazier.
Well,
if it already hasn't.
There's no social skills now. There's no social skills.
Well, you remember the movie Wall-E?
Yeah. Wow.
Where the
eh.
people-
I know. I didn't really. I might have seen it
Where the
once.
people are sitting on chairs, just kind of floating
Yeah.
around, and like
yeah,
they have everything.
and I'm already like I'm pretty lazy anyway,
Yeah.
so I don't need to be sitting around anymore. Like I need to get out and walk and do some stuff. So I mean, the kids of now that don't have to do that, I don't know what their future is going to be like. You know?
I mean, I think if anything needs to go back in time, I think technology does just a little bit. I think
Yeah, things happen too fast. You know, I mean, us guys making the movies that we do, the way that we do it. I mean, Chris and I have been doing this now for a little over 10 years. We've seen a significant change in the way things are done in 10 years. Just, you know, with the kind of actors and actresses we get, you know, what people are expecting. I think in another 10 years, I don't know if we'll be able to connect with the people that we connect with, and if actors are going to be wanting, you know, because now, I mean, hey, I got 20,000 followers on Instagram. Why do I want to make a movie with you guys that's going to reach, you know, a few hundred people? You know, there used to be, I mean, acting in an independent movie, even at our level, used to be a stepping stone. It's like, okay, I'll do this, you know, I'll try and get some commercials, I'll try and work on some bigger budget stuff and move up the ladder. And it seems like that ladder doesn't really exist anymore.
Right. Sure.
You know?
Sure. It's sad. It's sad.
The youth of today don't give a fuck.
I mean, what are you gonna do? It's the whole being spoon fed everything nowadays. That's the whole thing now.
Yeah, people want instant gratification. There's no like, oh, I gotta put some work in, some time.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's how kind of how I was raised. Like, you know, you gotta, you know, work your way up to get somewhere. I mean,
trying to explain to my kids.
you know,
like,
we've been doing the, you know, Chris and I have been doing the movie thing now for over 10 years, and we finally just have some kind of a following, you know, to where we know we can bring in, you know, a couple of bucks to be able to do this. And I mean, that took a decade. You know? That's a lot of time. I mean, you tell some young person, hey, you're going to have to do this for 10 years before you actually get somewhere with it. I don't think that they would even want to try.
Well,
You know?
I think just in general, you're not going to see kids nowadays being, you know, growing up, we had our family members been in the same companies for 10, 15, 20.
Oh, yeah. People work a place for a year or less and move on. I mean, I think my dad has only had 3 jobs his entire life.
Yeah.
I've had over
You know?
probably close to 100.
Yeah. But,
No lie.
yeah.
He's had close to 100 jobs.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow. That's more than... I'm kind of old school when it comes... Like, I get stuck at a place, man. I think I've had maybe 10 jobs my whole life.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
No.
And
I get... Once I get comfortable in a place and it's like, it's working, I stay there, man.
I just went back to an old job because I loved it so much. Like
Yeah.
I went back to it. Like I left for 2 years, 3 years, and then I just came back last year.
Chris is more of a gambler. I've known him for a while on a personal level, and he would tell me, "Yeah, I quit my job." And I'm like, "Aren't you afraid? Like, I mean, you don't know when you're going to get your next one." And he's just like, "Yeah, I'll figure it out."
But, I mean,
Dude, I had a 6-figure-a-year job, and I quit. Basically,
I could never do that. I'm just not. I don't know.
I quit because I wanted to make movies.
Couldn't do it.
yeah.
Like, how stupid is that?
I don't know. I would probably build up my retirement portfolio first.
I haven't made some good decisions in my life, but it always seems to work out. I'm like Seinfeld, even Steven. Well, I'll throw a $20 bill out the window, and then I'll get a letter in the mail that, hey, there's a check for $20 from some company that, you know,
Right.
that's how it is.
Well, there it is. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us at Killer Collab Podcast. My name is Tone Dead from Florida. Sean Donohue, thank you for joining us.
Buy this movie.
I'll put the link in the description below.
Okay.
Gatorblade Films, Chris Lato, Reaper Films.
Donate to the Cheerleader Sleepover Slaughter.
Donate to the campaign. Actually, put that. There's no link for this yet. So just put Lato's link up.
Absolutely, it will be in the description below. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay in school. Don't learn from us.
And don't do drugs.
See ya.